How's it going, everyone? This is MOS Tricks, and we have some breaking news coming out around Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So as we all know, if you're someone who's been following along with the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero drama, for lack of a better word, the game has been in a pretty rough spot. A lot of people are describing this game as fun, but it's boring in its current state. So there's been some things that people have been complaining about, especially the game mechanics themselves and how the game feels to play, especially at the higher levels. And whether or not Bandai Namco knows that the game was in a very rough state, or they are waiting for feedback from the community to eventually say, hey, some changes have to happen because this game feels either unfinished or it's becoming boring, or they're seeing the massive decline of people leaving the game, and there are stats to back that up as well. There's finally a statement saying that they are actually looking into changing the battle mechanics in December, which is actually pretty crazy, and I want to talk about this for a second. They're saying that they're going to be putting this off until December because they're having a online qualifier. There's a big tournament that they made an announcement for, and it's going to be a global tournament. It's going to be great, very exciting, all that good stuff. And because of balancing and how people have been practicing the game so far, they're not going to up and change everything, especially with the potential of having things break. So they're going to wait until the tournament is over, because like I said, it's going to be on a global stage. They're going to be playing it in, I think, LA for the grand finals and all that good stuff. But they're going to wait until that's finished, and then they're going to be making changes to the fundamental foundation of the game, which is actually huge. And I will say that this right here is why the big content creators have been saying what they've been saying. Nobody is just trying to be an absolute baby and complaining about a game that is in fact perfect. There is no such thing as the perfect game, and I fully understand that. But when people are saying that this game is falling off, or this game is no longer fun, or there's not much to do after you finish the story mode and the game is getting repetitive or boring, or at the highest level of play, it feels like you're just playing a bunch of party games within a so-called fighting game, and it just feels like the same shit over and over again. The skill ceiling is very low. When people are saying this, they're not just complaining for the sake of it. They're saying this because they want to push further beyond, if I can say that. They want to push further and actually feel like they're progressing as a player, and that there's a difference between a C-ranked player's gameplay and a Z-ranked player's gameplay, and actually say, hey, this person has real skill, and there's more things to practice versus just vanish chains forever and trying to get the perfect super counter forever. Because if you've never seen Z-level ranked play, I'll show you a clip of what that looks like, and you'll say, this is just mini games, just a timing game. It's not much. I'm not going to say it's not skill, but it doesn't feel like there's much tech or technical ability put into this. It's who can push the one singular button perfectly over and over. And if you have the undying will to sell your soul, you will be willing to do that forever. But the average person does not find that enjoyable. The average person does not find this over and over to be fun. They want to grind to actually be a better player, and that's totally fine, but they want to feel like they're actually progressing beyond pushing one button better than another person. And so because of this, I fully understand why this patch is not coming out soon. If they said, hey, we're going to be fixing online as far as the rage quitting, but yeah, we're going to do it in a month, then yes, there's something to be upset about, because like, okay, why does that take so long? I get that. But to change the fundamental core of the game and how the mechanics actually work because of the community, or because they just decided on their own that people don't want to play the game in the current state that it is, whether they listen to us or not, they're seeing the numbers to say, okay, something is up here. And so they're taking our feedback as a whole, and if it's the super counter that has to get fixed, or the vanish chains, or the revenge counter, or if it's the tweaking of certain characters being too strong, or if it's DP battles being very cheesy, or whatever it might be, if they're taking those things into consideration, whether or not you agree with how Bandai does everything that they do, you have to give them some time. And that sounds probably funny coming from me. If you've seen my shorts, I'm the last person to give these people time. But I will say that from a development standpoint, they're actually listening. So thank the Lord that they're actually listening, and they're going to try their best to tweak the game to make it more fun. A lot of people have been on this bandwagon of saying the game doesn't need to be balanced. The game is perfect the way that it is. But the thing is that everyone is convinced that if the game becomes balanced, that it will now not be fun. Balance is not the absence of fun. When things are unbalanced and broken and you can't see yourself progressing, that's not fun. If a game is balanced, it means it's going to be playable. And if you can lose in a balanced game and win in a balanced game, that makes it fun. If you feel like you're putting all your time and effort into practicing something, and it doesn't really matter how hard you try, there's no real way of saying that I'm progressing because all I have to do is choose a different character and I'll automatically win with cheese, that is not fun. And I will say we're not entirely sure as to how far they're going to go when they say they're going to change the mechanics of the game, but I can guarantee you this: they are not going to try and change the game to just appease the 1%, the S ranks, ranks and the Z rank players to say, okay, now you guys can have fun, but everybody else who is the masses, because unfortunately, not everybody can be in the 1%, but the 99% of other people, you're all not going to have fun now. It's only going to be catered to the S tier and the Z tier, I keep on saying tier, but Z rank players, the best players in the game. It's only going to be catered to them. That is definitely not the case, and that's definitely not what they're going to do. But as a whole, we can agree that fighting against a character that has super armor and a grab that takes their health, as far as Android 19 and 20, that is not fun for a lot of people. Or if you're getting absolutely crash out, brain rot destroyed by after image strike, that is not fun. So when they change some of these things, and these are not necessarily mechanics, but more so moves within the game, if they happen to tweak those things, then that's great too. I more so think they're going to be talking about the super counter and the vanishes, but if they change these other things as well too, that makes the game more fun. If you are the rare person who enjoys to cheese people because you actually suck at the game, and now you can't have fun because you cannot abuse a broken system anymore, then this is unfortunately too bad for you, and this game is not for you. And I'm talking specifically to the people who are choosing Z Broly and just trying their damnedest to cheese people into oblivion by going into sparking and then key blast spamming into another dimension. If you are that person, then unfortunately your Z rank days might be over unless you actually get good. And these cheesy tactics really do take away from fun. Is it unbalanced to be able to do these things, having unblockables and an insane amount of key blasts and all the other things that are considered cheesy? Yes, they are entirely unbalanced. But like I said, balancing the game and having fun can coexist. Because in the current state right now, and I know not everything is about ranked, but that's one of the main things a lot of people care about and worry about. A lot of people say that the rank doesn't really even matter. There are people who will lose to a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta player with a straight face and be like, well, he's playing Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like, I'm not necessarily destined to lose, but I'm not shocked that I did because skill is not there. And in ranked, whether any of you guys like it or not, ranked is not the place to have fun, I will say. But that's why they're trying to change the mechanics. They want it to be enjoyable or fulfilling, or if you lose, you lost for real. If you won for real. And so I'm very curious as to what they actually do to balance or change the mechanics of the game. Like I said, they never mention that they're changing the moves of characters or making characters weaker or changing their health bars or making their specials different or anything like that. They said the mechanics specifically. So like I had mentioned, I feel like it's going to be super counter, revenge counter, and vanishes. I'm very, very curious as to what they do. And do you think they're going to do it properly, or do you think they're going to fumble the bag with a huge opportunity to try and bring back the player base? Because in my opinion, they got one shot to make this work now. There's been a lot of very solid suggestions around how to change the Vanish Wars specifically, and I really hope that they take these things to heart and actually fix the game in a way that makes it fun and enjoyable and fulfilling for everybody. It feels like December is very far away, and hopefully they also touch on the online in the next couple of weeks as well too. We can see a fix there as well. Let me know your thoughts down below, and thanks for watching.